The whole,
go in the middle, buddy.
The whole gang is here. Even Biggie had to come in.
Yes, here's Biggie. She's over here.
All right, well, we are going to talk all things Disney hotels tonight and share with you our full review of the 4 resorts we stayed in, as long as just kind of our general thoughts on where you should stay on your next Disney vacation. So,
are you a dog too? Let's roll the intro. Well, welcome in everyone who's live. Make sure to check in so we know you're here. Say a comment. Welcome if you're watching on Team Replay as well.
Yes. Looks like Chrissy's on here. I know. Chrissy's getting ready for her Disney trip. So excited.
What? Hey,
Chrissy. It's going to be here before you know it. As soon as your magic bands get here anyway.
That's always, it's real then. When
right?
The magic bands are
I know. They've been having all this drama with their magic bands in the mail and Sometimes it's so stressful when you're waiting for something in the mail. So, but soon it'll be time for your trip soon. Yeah. So on our last trip we just got back from. It feels like it's been a while, but it also feels like it was just yesterday. Probably because I still have our suitcases laid out in the bedroom, and I'm trying to get them repacked for Chicago. And my friend messaged today, and she was like, "Are you packed?" And I'm like, "No." I have some things packed, but I just I do not have the energy to pack a suitcase again. After living out of a suitcase for 2 weeks and then after packing for 2 weeks, living out of a suitcase for 2 weeks, unpacking and doing laundry for 2 weeks, the thought of repacking a suitcase is I just don't want to do it. I think that's one thing we've learned. We're really excited about our trip, but I think one thing we've learned from the summer is 2 trips in the same month is makes it more travel effort than we want to exert. Yeah. It's it's great when you go on a trip and it's lots of fun and you're so excited, but then having to turn right back around and start packing again. It's just, it's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot.
It's so much.
Anyway, back to Disney. So on our latest trip, we stayed in 4 different Disney resorts, and we stayed off property in a resort. So we wanted to kind of talk about that too, staying on property, staying off property. What's the benefit? We've been thinking about this a lot and talking about this a lot. We kind of feel the last year was really weird because of COVID, and we're prior to that, we kind of had these routines of when we would travel and where we would go. And we felt we kind of knew our rhythm. And so we were talking today, what is our new,
what's our new travel
plan going to be? Because we kind of have always tried to do Disney World around Halloween or Christmas time. And we would typically do Disneyland around President's Day weekend, or Martin Luther King weekend in January. And now I'm not really sure what our travel itinerary is going to be. This was our 3rd year doing Disney World over the 4th of July.
Yep.
I think the first year we did it just because we were that'd be kind of cool to be there for the 4th of July. And then the second year we did it just because it worked out for taking my niece and her friend. That date worked really well. And then this time we did it honestly, because the last time we went in July, we're never again. We're never going to Florida in July again. It's so hot and humid. And then we ended up, with the last year being weird, and we had our DVC points, and our use year expires end of July.
So we had to use them.
So we had to use them. I mean, we could have sold them. Some of them we could have rolled into the next year. But we'd been away from Disney for 2 years, and we're let's just do it. And we proactively made the decision to do the 4th of July in this summer, with the hope that it would work out and things would feel much more normal. We were really hoping mask mandates would have been lifted and fireworks would be back. And so we got really lucky that all those things happened.
Yeah.
So
check in. A couple more people hopped in. Cherie, thanks for hopping in and
thanks for hopping
saying hello. And Fun Fiero, Andy, and Liz.
Ooh, nice.
It's the whole gang.
The whole gang.
The party's here.
Yeah.
Thanks for hopping on, guys.
So that being said, talking about the time of year, I think that's one thing that for us really factors into the resorts.
Yep.
What time of year you're going. So we do have Disney Vacation Club, which allows us to stay at the Deluxe resorts. And I feel like we learned so much about ourselves as travelers and kind of our preferences and what we like and what we don't like and kind of how we ideally travel as a family on this trip. More so than any other trip we've done.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think that we've had a lot of life changes too, just with Wally getting older. He's going to start school in the fall. Jobs, transitions, things like that just kind of have factored into some of our decisions around when we'll travel. But I think we just really learned a lot about kind of our vacation style on this trip.
Very leisurely vacation style.
Yeah. And because of that, I will say there's a lot of value in staying in a Deluxe resort. I think if you are in the mode of Disney, go, 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 maybe it's a first visit or an only visit or a first visit in a really long time, or you're going with people that haven't done the parks before, or maybe doing the parks for the first or only time, and you're going to be spending a lot of time in the parks. Your priority is you're going to get up, you're going to try and rope drop, you're going to do marathon days in the parks. I don't think in that case, staying in a Deluxe resort is worth it.
Yeah.
I don't think that paying for a Deluxe resort is worth it unless
if it's just a bed to you.
If it is a place to sleep, but you want to be in the Disney bubble and still have the Disney magic and, kind of have the theming and stuff, I would go value or moderate. Park Warriors for
and
sure.
And Liz,
right?
Park Warriors.
Yeah. I mean, I think when you're in that Park Warrior mode and you want to get as much as you can out of being in the parks, I wouldn't pay to stay in a Deluxe resort. I would definitely go, value or moderate. That being said, even if you're staying in a value or moderate resort at Disney, I think that having some time to enjoy the resort is worth it. And the reason I will say that is because staying off property is not bad.
No.
There's things we really love about staying off property. And we'll talk about that a little bit more because that was one of the hotels we stayed at on this trip.
There we go.
But, if you're going to be paying to stay on Disney property, then make sure
get some benefit out of where
make sure
you're
you
staying.
Give yourself some time to really absorb the magic, walk around the resort, take in all the scenery, eat at the food court or the quick service or whatever is there. Take advantage of the transportation that you have on site to maybe hop on a bus or hop on the Skyliner. Y'all know how I feel about the Skyliner, but
Should I get the PSA rant alert loaded up here?
No.
Double check that we had it.
But take advantage of that and enjoy being on property for at least part of your stay. Because you are still paying a premium to stay on Disney property. And that is one thing we've been digesting a lot more lately because we have DVC and we have not done a Disney trip in a while where we've had to pay to stay. And when I start looking at prices to pay and stay on property, I'm I can't pay that. I'm not going to pay $300 a night to stay at a moderate resort. And I'm definitely not going to pay $800 a night to stay at a Deluxe resort. So our perception of that is totally skewed too because we have DVC. But if I was going to pay $200 or $300 to stay there, I would want to take advantage of the resorts because they are magical. And you know, depending on what time you're there, enjoy some like pool time, you know, just enjoy the ambiance of being on Disney property.
Yeah, Sheree said
Sheree
that.
said, yeah, that's why you stay off property. Yeah, and it adds up. It gets really expensive when you, and especially like depending on your party size too.
Party size or makeup of your party.
Yeah, because like a lot of the resorts don't accommodate more than 4 per room. I know Port Orleans, Riverside has some new rooms that accommodate 5 because they have a drop down sleeper.
Yeah.
But so many of the rooms, it's like if you're over a party of 3 or 4, it's hard, you know, and depending on the makeup of your party. Yeah. Like even if you are, you know, 3 people, but if you have like 2 adult children or 2 older children that don't want to share a bed, you know, like it's going to be hard to do 2 queen bed rooms. So Rosen Inn Resorts. Okay.
We'll have to check that out.
Yeah, we'll have to check that one out. Yeah, and again, like even if you're gonna stay off property too, like if your modus operandi is like get there, drop your stuff, go to the parks, you're gonna be in the parks and you're gonna come back and you're gonna sleep, don't, you know, it's not worth paying for.
Well, what I like about staying off property or staying on property, but with a rental car and especially off property is, you know how long it's going to take to drive from where you're at to where you're going. And you know what time you want to get there. So if you want to be there for rope drop, say a half hour before the park opens, you know it's going to take you a half hour to drive. You know what time to leave. Whereas if you're relying on the busing system to hit rope drop, I mean,
or the skyline,
the skyline in the morning is fine. Huh? You're good in the morning. It's when those afternoon thunderstorms come in.
But no, I mean, there is a lot of validity to that. I will say that I think that we have learned we like the control that a rental car gives us. Yeah. $350 for 5 nights.
For a place to sleep your bed. And forgot to say, hey, Jeff and Ange, thanks for hopping on. Good to see you. I mean, $350 for 5 nights, you cannot beat that. Yeah. And if it is, it's a clean place, shower, slam your head down, get back up the next day and go bust it through the parks again. Right. It's not worth it to pay much more than that.
And the other thing I will say about staying off property is considering parking. So I mean, I guess we'll just start with that. Yeah. So the hotel we stayed at on this last trip was the Courtyard Marriott on International Drive, like right by Icon Park. Like you could see the Orlando Eye from the parking lot. And it was free parking. So that's another thing. If you want to have a rental car, staying on Disney property is kind of rough because I want to say it's $16 a night at the value resorts. And then it's like, it goes up in tiers for pricing. That does cover your parking for the parks. If you are a Disney resort guest paying parking for a car at your resort, you don't have to pay for parking at the parks, but you're still paying, you know,
okay, so it's part of the Clarion area. Okay. Yeah, so you can just take that back road into the Disney bubble. Yeah,
that's really nice. Yeah. So that's another thing I would consider when you're looking at off-property hotels is like really make sure you look and see if you're renting a car, how much is it going to cost you to park your car per night? And I mean, I was shocked that it was free.
I was shocked that it was free
to park our car there. So, and that was also really nice too, because like, you know, Russ came over and we did a couple days at Cape Canaveral and it was great. He could park his car at the hotel. We didn't have to worry about like gate checks or getting
him a sticker
or anything like that. He could just park his car there and it was totally fine to be there while we were off doing things during the day. And then we could come back and, you know, he could drive home from there. So Mark's looking
I'm looking it up because the official,
so
value resorts are 15 a night, moderate or 20, and those deluxe resorts are $25 a night to just leave your car.
I mean, if you're staying there for 4 nights, that's an extra $100 to park your car. Yeah,
and then you don't have to pay to park at the
parks, right?
So you will get in there. So you're saving money. I mean, if you're going to park, you know, $20-$25 to park at the Magic Kingdom, you know, you're getting $16-$15 a night. there. I mean,
right.
Kind of may save you a little money,
saves
but
you a little
they're
bit
getting
of
their
money,
they're getting
but
their money.
yeah, I mean, and that is why like when we stay on property with a DVC reservation, we do not have to pay for parking.
Yep.
So that was a factor to us too in renting a car on this last trip, is we didn't have to pay for parking, and because we have an annual pass, we didn't have to pay for parking at the parks either. Yeah. So
$50 pet. Of course, there's always a pet fee.
Yes.
There's size limitation there.
Yeah, that's our
Where they
problem.
allow the Great Dane, the 135 pounder.
There's like, it's so hard to ever find a hotel that allows you to have
135-pound beast.
Yeah. Usually it's like 50-pound limits on dogs. And I mean, we could say we have 3 dogs.
I have 3 dogs. Hey, Shauna Claire, thanks for hopping on.
So yeah, I mean, there is some value in staying off property, and we've done quite a few visits where we've stayed off property. We stayed at the Floridays. That was a really nice spot. We've stayed at an Airbnb, and that was really great because we just had, we had a full kitchen. We had
it was a condo.
Much more of a feeling of being at a house. We could do laundry, so we've done a little bit of everything. If we go back in March, we'll probably stay off property. Like I said, we have not paid Disney prices in a really long time. So
it was
looking at like staying at Port Orleans or something like that.
DVC does make you immune to the pricing of Disney. It really does.
Well, and when I look at how much we paid for our contract plus what we pay every year in annual maintenance fees, and I divide that over 50 years of vacations, that price doesn't even touch what we would pay
cash
to stay 1 week cash at a moderate resort. I mean, we're staying 2 weeks or more. We've definitely eked out more than that at deluxe resorts for less than it would cost us to stay a week at a moderate resort, and that makes it really hard.
It makes it really hard to shell out
to shell out cash for Disney Hotel. So that's kind of our thoughts on like staying on property versus off property. Now, what I will say is that one of the biggest reasons we joined DVC is because we got a taste of staying at a deluxe resort. So we stayed at the Beach Club when we did the Wine and Dine Half Marathon in 2013. We stayed at the Beach Club, and it spoiled us. We're like, oh my gosh, this is so nice, and the pool and just like the proximity, being able to walk to Epcot, being able to walk to Hollywood Studios. We're like, this is really nice. And so when we had the opportunity to buy into DVC, it really felt like a no-brainer to us. And at the time it was at Polynesian, so we own like
0.06 of Unit 26.
Yeah, we own like the toilet handle in one of the bungalows.
No, it's Unit 26. So it's actually it's 3 villas. So the villas are there's 3 of them together that make a unit. So yeah, we own a toilet handle and it's the building off. I've looked it up. It's the building off to the side.
But when it was at the Poly, and we love the Poly, and we'd never stayed at the Poly, and we just love the idea of like being able to have 50 years of family vacations at deluxe resorts. It just felt like a no-brainer to us. So
let's talk about those deluxe resorts.
So on this trip, we stayed at 4. And I mean, everybody's like, that's crazy. Like, why would you want?
Why not,
resorts?
People? Why not like have chaos and craziness?
I think about it now, and I'm like, I don't know that I would have done it differently. Like, there was no point in the trip.
It was a bit much.
There was no point in the trip for me that I thought like, I just wish we'd stayed at this one hotel.
No, I'll give you that. But there were multiple points I was like, if we didn't have to change resorts tomorrow, that would be awesome.
I will say, like, we never left our room on that last day until 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Like, we were out at like 11:01. The last one was like 11:20. So
12.
yeah. But I mean, you don't have to get up super early. Like we would still sleep in until 9 and throw everything in their suitcases and move on.
Give the maid an extra large tip as she's standing at the door. Here's some.
Well, so the one thing I was talking to Mark about post trip and all the transfers and everything was like staying at Deluxe resorts. I think one of the huge values is the pool.
Yes.
In my opinion, that is one of the biggest assets of staying at the Deluxe resorts is the pools. The pools are incredible. And that was why I specifically picked the 4 resorts that I did for this trip, because we were going in July, guaranteed every day was going to be a pool day. There was never going to be a day on our trip where it was like, oh, it's not hot enough to go to the pool.
Yeah.
That never happened.
No. Now, if we go in December or January,
right. We've definitely been there. I think we've officially been to Disney World now every month of the year. We've been there during every month of the year. And there has definitely been plenty of trips in December, in January, even in March, where it's not warm enough to do the pool. That being said, the pools are all heated. We stayed at Beach Club the last time we were there with the 4th of July, and it was actually uncomfortable. Like the water is so heated in those pools that it was not refreshing. Yeah. Like you would get into the pool and it's super hot and you're like, I feel like I'm getting into like a warm bath. Like it didn't feel like, oh yes, I'm in the pool. Like, so that was also like part of our reason we didn't stay at Beach Club for this trip, why we like didn't choose that as one of the resorts, because arguably it does have one of the best pools. But I would actually love to stay there in like December and swim, knowing that the water's so warm.
We've encountered that too, Sherry. We've had that before.
Absolutely. You can be there in January and February and it can be 90.
One time in February it was like 100 degrees.
Well,
that was in California.
That was in California. Yeah, we were there in January and they had this like
freak.
Literally, it was 100 degrees.
It was 100 degrees. You go to California in February, you're not.
Yeah, I was like, why is it? It was February. You're right, because it was Valentine's Day weekend and it was so hot. We were like, why is it 100 degrees? Yeah. We were literally standing in line to ride the monorail.
Yeah.
And the monorail went down
because it's too hot.
Because it was too hot. And they told us like you can wait, but it is currently 15 degrees hotter in the cars.
Yes. These are good times of year to go. You're lucky.
Yeah, February and September is an awesome time
to
visit.
To go.
Yeah.
So the first resort we stayed at was Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Animal Kingdom Lodge, yeah.
And specifically Jambo House.
So
the 5th floor of Jambo House is DVC. You think 4 and 5, or it's 5 and 6?
5 and 6. I think 5th floor is DVC and 6th floor is the Kilimanjaro Club.
Kilimanjaro Club, yeah. Which is DVC 2-ish.
You can book Kilimanjaro Club on DVC. Yeah. So, but I also think you can just book it.
Oh, you can always pay cash. Disney will always take your. Yeah. They'll take your greenbacks. Yeah. Don't worry about that. What do you want to do? Yeah.
But we had never stayed at Jambo. We'd stayed at Kidani. Yep. And our experience at Kidani was when we got stuck there in Hurricane Irma. So we added on like 4 extra days to that trip and we were already there for like a week. So Animal Kingdom Lodge just feels like home.
It does feel like home when you get there.
Like I think because we were there for so long and we kind of like, it was our first hurricane. So like we didn't really know what to expect. Yeah. Like what's this going to be? And it was like, it hit right on to Orlando. So, I mean, it was like a full blown hurricane. So I think that like endeared the Animal Kingdom Lodge resorts to us a lot because it just felt like this really like safe home place. And it was really fun to be there in a hurricane actually.
It's all one building. So you don't have to go outside to do anything.
Yeah.
Hey, Francisco, thanks for dropping in.
And they have the club area there, which is really nice. And they have the arcade, and their pools are great. So yeah, we were really excited to stay at Jambo because we hadn't experienced Jambo.
Yep.
We did,
and Jambo was still closed.
Yeah,
so it was
super
so quiet.
Quiet.
It was so quiet.
The gift shop wasn't open. The restaurants weren't open. I mean, there was like literally never anybody in the lobby. You'd be like the only person.
Yeah,
it was very peaceful. So yeah, I mean, we really love the Animal Kingdom Lodge. We did book a Savannah View room, and it was just really nice. It's just so peaceful.
I would say specifically the Savannah room we were assigned to was kind of,
we were
junky.
Like
not junky. Sorry, that's the wrong word. It was a little bit more frustrating to call it a Savannah room because it's at the very end of the Savannah.
So you definitely were on the Savannah, but the animals
tended to be
over
around
on the other side.
So
because we couldn't see them as often. Like if you were over on the other side, you'd be able to see them, and if you were over here, you'd be able to see them. But I mean, we definitely had plenty of active times on the safari.
Active animals, but I would go to the end and look around the corner, and I would see, oh, there's a ton of animals in the main Savannah. So we didn't have the
best view in that room, but I mean, that experience kind of made me wonder if it's worth getting a Savannah view. From the standpoint that there's so many awesome viewing areas at the resort, and they have all the like little areas where you can go outside and sit in the rocking chair and look out over the Savannah. That I don't know if it's worth paying.
So we were in
premium.
The Uzima Savannah, and so to get animals, whoops, I'm doing this backwards. They were released up here in this area, and they would have to work their way around to the food over here. And I mean, they would, but
yeah, typically they'd be kind of around the corner.
They'd be around the corner,
and so we didn't have the best view of them. And that is the one thing about booking a Savannah view is like, there's just no guarantee. There's no guarantee what animals you're going to have because the Savannahs are all separated out. And so like you may have zebras, or you may have giraffes, or you may have the Ankily cattle.
Ankily cattle.
So I mean, it just kind of depends on like what you're going to get for animals, and then also like where they're going to be. Now we ended up, because Wally got sick while we were in that room, we ended up having like a whole day where we stayed in the hotel room. And so the animals are active in the morning, and they're active like at check-in time. Yeah. Like really between like 4 and 7 at night. Kind of when people are checking into the resort or they're getting back from the parks. Midday, like late morning, midday, there's just not as much activity. It's hot out there. They tend to kind of find shade and just chill out. So if you're planning on spending like a whole resort day and hoping to be in your room, watch the animals all day.
And that's where any of the rooms at Kidani, I mean, all the Savannah rooms at Kidani are facing one of the main Savannahs.
Right. And you're going to see that whole area.
I mean, I guess there's that little one that we were off of, the Pembe Savannah right up here. But it's actually disconnected from the rest of the areas. And this is where they hide the animals at night. This is where their retreat is. So when we were over here, we always had animals around the clock because that's where they go to sleep, is up there up top. So that's just something to consider if you're looking at doing a Savannah View room. I mean, especially if you're wanting to pay cash to stay at Animal Kingdom Lodge. I don't know if I would pay to get a Savannah View. I would pay to stay at Animal Kingdom Lodge because it is beautiful and relaxing. Pools are awesome. Food is fantastic. Even with the 2 main restaurants closed, the food was still great. Like the Mara is great. Sanaa is awesome. Sanaa over at Kidani. And it's so easy to walk in between the two. They have a van that runs in between, but we just walked because you have to put your mask on. You have to put your mask on. And not that we don't want to wear a mask, but when we went down, we're like, we completely forgot our mask. We're not going to walk all the way back. So we're like, over there. We'll just walk over. But it took maybe 10 minutes? Maybe 10 minutes. Yeah. So it's a very easy walk in between the two. We did, I will say, so
when Wally got sick, we decided we were going to do dinner in the room. We got hot dogs, and we were going to grill hot dogs, and the grills are charcoal,
Yes.
which is kind of a pain because
Yes.
you have to buy like a bag of charcoal and a lighter and something to start it. And we're like, do we want to invest $20 into charcoal grill material to grill one, maybe 2 meals?
So stay tuned to the vlog to see how we dealt with that problem.
Solution for
creative solution. And no, I did not chop down a tree. So get that out of your mind. Disney's not missing any palm trees.
No. But there's lots of areas to grill if you would like to, but just
know that they're barbecue grills.
Know that they're charcoal.
Charcoal. Thank you.
Yeah. So I mean, Animal Kingdom, would I recommend somebody staying there?
Yes.
Absolutely. I think it is one of the best resorts. Downside, you're way out there. So it's very convenient for going to Animal Kingdom.
It's a one-way road into Animal Kingdom.
It's very convenient for going to Animal Kingdom. It's very convenient for going to, isn't one of the water parks right there? Or am I flip-flopping that in my head?
I mean, it's kind of in that vicinity, but it's a one-way road into...
park there and wait for us one day when we were like checking in?
Yeah.
It's right by Blizzard Beach.
Blizzard Beach is in that vicinity, yeah.
There's also a place called World of Citrus.
But again, that's all the way on
Showcase of Citrus.
Yeah, that's all the way on the other side. So
yeah.
So like when we looked up Publix, there were 2 Publix that were equal distant from us, but one was twice as long to get there because you had to go all the way around and back out to Kissimmee, I think.
Yeah, it's not the most convenient location for
it's one way
really getting to much of anything. Yeah. So that's just something to consider. And again, like this is where I would say do a split stay because it's really nice to stay at Animal Kingdom Lodge on the days you're going to go to Animal Kingdom Park. You're super close to the park. So personally, I would say do Animal Kingdom Lodge only for a couple nights.
Yep.
Like if you want to go do Animal Kingdom Park for 2 days and you want to have an amazing resort day, book 2 or 3 nights at Animal Kingdom Lodge, enjoy that, and then go stay somewhere else.
Yep.
That would be my recommendation on Animal Kingdom Lodge. And I would say definitely do a resort day because there's a lot to, there was a lot we wanted to do that we didn't even get to do. They have a whole free scavenger hunt you can do around the resort. Their pool activities were great.
Both resorts have little areas you can go out into the savannah and just sit and watch and talk to the staff. They actually have cast members there to talk to you about the animals at little stations. And we barely got even a chance to do that.
Yeah. So that would be my personal recommendation on Animal Kingdom Lodge. If that is a dream resort for you and you really want to stay there,
just do it a couple days.
Stay for 2 or 3 nights. Yeah. Plan one whole day to just do the resort, enjoy the animals, eat all the food, go enjoy the pools. You can do both pools. You can do Kidani. You can do Jambo. I know Kidani's pool is going down for refurbishment. I don't know the schedule on that. So
you're booking soon.
Look at that.
At least while we were there, the Hakuna Matata pool at Jambo, since it wasn't open yet, it was
quiet.
It was so quiet.
And the water slide's great there. Yep. The water slide's great at both pools.
Kidani, splash pad at Kidani is amazing.
Kidani has a really fun splash pad. Splash pad / playground, which is just really awesome.
And what's their pool bar named? I'm trying to remember.
Uzima.
The Uzima Springs Pool Bar. Yeah. They actually had a lot. They had Uncrustables.
Yeah, they had great kid food options.
A full bar. We did takeout from Sanaa bread service, so you can do that too. You load up the app and you go to Sanaa takeout and bring that into the pool. Yeah, they were cool with that.
So, and zebra domes, you got to get the zebra domes and the jungle juice that they have there as well, the pog juice. Got to do that. So, I think that's kind of like what I would say about Animal Kingdom Lodge. Yep. I think it's an amazing resort, but I would do it on a split stay. Yep. The next resort we went to was Bay Lake Tower over at the Contemporary, and we were super lucky to be able to book that over the 4th of July weekend, which is almost always impossible. But because the fireworks were weird and people didn't really know what was happening,
hadn't been announced they were coming back yet,
we were able to book a standard view 1-bedroom.
Which is even rarer to book.
The thing about Bay Lake Tower is, especially if you're using DVC points, if it's not your home resort, you are probably going to have to wait list.
Yep.
1-bedrooms are easier to get. Studios are very hard to get, and standard view is very hard to get because you pay a premium.
And it's a big premium.
It's and it's so there's standard
there's
view.
2 premiums you pay. You pay.
There's standard view. There's lake view, and then there's theme park view.
Yeah. And remember, lake view is also out to the north. That's all they call that lake view as well because you're looking out the lake there. So really, the standard are kind of like the first 3 floors, and that's it.
Yeah. Now that being said, standard view, 1-bedroom, Bay Lake, we could see the fireworks from our patio.
Yes, we could.
And it was
we were leaning out like this, and they were over here.
But I mean, Spaceship Earth, or not Spaceship, I always say Spaceship Earth. Space Mountain was like literally right there, and then you can see the fireworks. So
and just there's no lions.
There's
at
no
any windows.
Carnivorous animals on the safari. Yes.
Well, on the safari, yes, but at your
on the Savannah View rooms.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, actually, right now the lion area is under refurbishment, so
there's no lions.
There's
anywhere.
no lions right now.
But yes, we could see the fire. It wasn't a great view, and then
like a
precisely
view,
at the time the fireworks were kicking off, some jabronis decided to go out and play tennis.
Oh, so the noise. I didn't notice it though.
You didn't notice the bright tennis lights in your eyes?
Oh no, I guess I didn't really.
Yeah. You weren't out there when it was dark. I was out there when it was dark. I'm like, this is perfect. And the tennis lights in my eyes. Who does it? Who plays tennis when the fireworks are going off at Magic Kingdom?
It's kind of fun to play tennis with fireworks. I mean,
if you're ever going to, that was your chance.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, the Bay Lake Tower is a beautiful resort. Yeah. I think that the Contemporary Resort is very underrated. I think that people love the Poly, and I think that people love the Grand Floridian. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Contemporary just doesn't get as much love. But the Wave is a fantastic resort. We've done breakfast there. We've done dinner there. They're renovating it now. So it'll be interesting to see what it looks like on the other side. And then California Grill is like
out of this world.
Fantastic. Yeah. It's such an awesome restaurant. The views are unbeatable. The experience is really wonderful. And then the Contempo Cafe is their quick service over there, and it's got lots of really good food options. We were also sick in that hotel, so I feel like we can say, I mean, it's kind of actually really nice to have been ill on vacations and survived at Disney to see kind of what that is like. And when Wally was really little, we stayed in a theme park view room at Bay Lake Tower, a studio.
The studios there are a little small.
The studios are small.
So this time when we stayed,
the one-bedrooms are huge.
Yes.
Gigantic.
You could have had a 20, 30 person party.
It was crazy. The living room area was massive. And the living room has a pull-out sofa that is queen size, and then it has a single
chair bed.
So you can sleep 5 people comfortably. I mean, if you have a tiny one, Wally sleeps in bed with us, so we could have him in the king bed with us.
Well, and didn't you learn that in calling them that we could for a different room? I'm trying to.
A lot of the rooms that say they sleep 4 will accommodate 5.
Yeah,
they just won't provide bedding for it.
Yeah.
But you can accommodate.
You have to call them to add those other people.
Well, when we go down in December and we're staying at Saratoga, we're in a 1-bedroom. It sleeps 4. But he said that they can make the reservation 5, but you just have to do it over the phone.
Yep.
And they just renovated those rooms, and they have drop down sleepers. So, but I don't know that it's necessarily updated in their inventory yet. But anyway,
the kitchen in Bay Lake in the 1-bedroom was just immaculate.
Awesome. Huge.
Great storage.
The patio is huge. You can go out from the living room space and the bedroom space.
The bedroom,
2 bathrooms, which is also a huge selling point of the 1 bedrooms at the Bay Lake Tower.
Honey, because you know this, which 1 bedrooms have 2 bathrooms?
The Kidani 1 bedrooms at Animal Kingdom Lodge, Bay Lake Tower, and isn't there one other one? Or is that it?
I think that's it.
I think that's it. I think those are the only ones that have 1 bedrooms with 2 bathrooms. Yeah. Technically, the Polynesian has 2 bathrooms in their studios, but it's a shower and a sink in one, and then a tub shower, toilet, and a sink in the other. Yeah. And
these
most
are 2
of them,
full bathrooms.
2 full bathrooms, yeah,
in the 1 bedroom,
which is really nice.
Yeah.
Especially like if you want to invite some guests to come stay with you, like it's just really
nice to have
really
them
nice
have their
and
own
comfortable.
space.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Bay Lake Tower and Contemporary are a little underrated. The other thing that we love about staying there is you can walk to Magic Kingdom.
Yes.
And you have your own security that you go through.
Yes.
It takes 10 minutes from the point of leaving your room to the point of walking in to the park,
to the Magic Kingdom.
And there just is like not enough that can be said about that value, especially like, so here's what I would say about Bay Lake Tower.
And with the new, so the complaint used to be with to getting there used to take forever because you'd get gummed up at the car booths. But now with the new flyover road, buses no longer get gummed up with the rest of the riffraff.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we never experienced using Disney transportation when we were staying at Bay Lake this trip. But
in the past,
never seemed, but I think it's a beautiful resort. It's an original resort.
Factoid, you cannot turn left if you're coming in from the north or the back way to the Magic Kingdom. You cannot turn left into the Contemporary. You have to go all the way down under the water bridge, turn around, and then come back.
Yeah, we learned that.
Keep that in mind if you come in the back way.
So here's what I would say about Bay Lake Tower. If you want to stay at the Contemporary, if that's a bucket list, if you want to stay at a monorail resort hotel, especially if you have little ones, I would highly recommend staying at Bay Lake Tower or the Contemporary. The pool also was super, super fun. I think that was the pool we were least excited about and the pool that we had the most fun at our entire trip. Yeah. The water slide there is super fun.
And they have it perfectly timed. So you're not waiting like some of their water slides, you're waiting. You're like, I could have gone down 10 times in the amount of time I'm waiting for this, but they have that one perfectly timed.
Pool. Yeah. I mean, we really had fun at the pool that night. I mean, I think that might have been our favorite.
It's a 0 entry too, isn't it?
It's a 0 entry. And it's
the
like
splash pad is nothing. It's just some flilly water.
Yeah, but Wally also loved that when he was really little. So I mean, we stayed there when Wally was not quite 2. Yeah. And then we stayed there now when he's almost 5. And when we stayed there when he was not quite 2, like they have a little water slide too.
Oh yes.
Into the pool, and he loved that. And they also have that over at Kidani. So that's another thing I really love about those pools as far as like if you have little kids or big kids. And then he loved the splash pad area when he was little. So it's a pool that accommodates all ages really well.
Yeah. But it's not a big built up splash pad like some of the other resorts.
Yeah, right. But here's what I would say about Bay Lake Tower. If it's a dream resort or you want to stay on the monorail, again, do it as a split stay. Plan it around your Magic Kingdom days because you cannot beat the convenience for Magic Kingdom. Now that the monorail is running again to Epcot, definitely you could do Epcot days from there as well. And it's super fun. If you're staying at Bay Lake, it's really fun to walk across the bridge, the like wavy bridge over into the Contemporary. It puts you out right at the main level where there's the Contempo Cafe and Chef Mickey's and the gift shops. And then you go up a level to ride the monorail.
Go through security and up a level to get to the monorail.
So it's super convenient to hop on the monorail as well. We did that our last day because Wally really wanted to ride the monorail. So we went over to the Contemporary. We went to the gift shops. We filled up our drink mugs. We hopped on the monorail and we went over to the Grand Floridian and spent some time there and then came back. But you can easily do like a monorail tour, which is also super fun. But yeah, do a split stay there for a couple nights. I would pay the premium for a fireworks view room though. I think it's worth it.
Totally.
I think it's totally worth it to have a fireworks view room.
And specifically, they call that the theme park view.
Theme park view.
Yep.
I think it's totally worth it. It's beautiful. Request a high floor if you can.
Request 16.
Yeah.
We're at the top of the world. But yeah.
And yeah, I mean, just take advantage of the fact that you can easily walk. One thing we've thought about doing, and this is where I think it would have super value, is do it on a night that you're doing one of the parties. So when they have after hour events at the Magic Kingdom, if it's the Halloween party, if it's the Christmas party, if it's even like the benefit of staying at a deluxe resort when they have these late night hours, that adds huge value. When you are tired and it is late at night and you do not want to
have to. You see everyone over there getting into fights, waiting to get on the boat. You're just walking right past.
You don't have to wait any of those lines for the ferries or the monorails or the buses. You just like, bloop, 10 minutes, you're in your bed.
Yep.
So that I would say book it for 1 or 2 nights. If you're going to book a theme park room, book 2 nights. One night when you're going to stay in your room, you're going to watch the fireworks from your balcony. And the second night, you're going to go to a late night event, and then you're going to walk right back to your room. That's what I would say for Bay Lake Tower and Contemporary. You can't beat it. No. It's so nice, especially if you're traveling with like strollers, because you don't have to deal with getting them on and off of buses. So that's my thoughts on Bay Lake Tower. Then we hopped over to Wilderness.
Wilderness.
Yeah.
They have 2 DVC properties there. They have Boulder Ridge, which we've stayed at in the past, which is a separate building. And then they have Copper Creek, which is kind of the side piece
it's the newer
one. Newly remodeled rooms. They took some of their standard
That was the last one that they built before Riviera.
Yep.
So, so we loved Copper Creek.
Hey, Amy, thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, thanks, Amy. I think that of the 4, Copper Creek was the winner for us.
It was my favorite. I mean, of a studio villa, it was my favorite. Yeah.
The rooms are beautiful. The storage is amazing.
I could not believe how much we jammed into. We went from a 1-bedroom giant
other
room.
Than you did knock your knees 17 times.
Oh my gosh, the bed! I totally knocked
the bed there and Polynesian, like
the bed there and the ones they have the same kind of Polynesian.
They have there's like these
stacked ones,
flat wooden
that have a gap past the mattress
knee
about that
knockers.
Much. Man, those are knee knockers.
Yeah. Luckily, the ones at Copper Creek for you were lower, so it would hit on your shin and not on your knee. The one at Poly, you hit right on your knee, and
that thing was black
swore
and blue.
You broke your knee. It was well.
Yes, but we went from a 1-bedroom at Bay Lake and jammed all that stuff into.
It just was like so.
And I didn't feel like
it was so well thought out.
Yeah,
the bed had so much room under it.
Yep.
All the bags fit under the bed.
Open.
Yeah, we could even have them open to get things out of. They all fit on the bed. The
coffee table was cool because it lifted up into a dining table.
That was really, really nice. We were on the first floor, so we didn't have a balcony. We had like a little patio, which was actually really pleasant.
It was super cool. So you'd go out on our patio and it's grass. There's a little bit of cement where the chairs are, and then it's grass. You could run around, shoot. If you had a football,
you throw a football around, not that we throw footballs around. But.
Wally and I were going to have a sword battle out there.
But yeah, it was a really nice.
And what's
room.
cool about being on the first floor is you go down the hall and out to the right, and you're in the quiet pool, the DVC quiet pool.
Yep.
Out to the left, you're in the main giant awesome
pool and
pool and the Geyser Point restaurant.
Grill, yeah.
Yeah. So without hopping on an elevator or going anywhere, you're there. Go out the back door and you're at the buses. I mean, it
was so convenient.
Anywhere you needed to be in like an instant.
Yeah. Now we've stayed in Boulder Ridge, and that does not feel as convenient over there. Like you do feel detached.
You feel detached.
Yeah. And you do feel like it's longer to kind of get to your room.
The Boulder Ridge building is, a long ways to the very end of it if you're having to go all the way to the end.
Yeah. But I don't know. Wilderness Lodge is just, it's so relaxing.
I really like Otter Creek.
The boat transportation to Magic Kingdom is very efficient. We never waited a long time for the boat. And there's just something really like peaceful and like relaxing about taking a boat over to the Magic Kingdom. You can also take them over to the Contemporary.
And while they have the same rules for the boat as they do the Skyliner, I think they're a little bit, they don't pull the trigger as quickly.
Yeah, as far as
the
lightning
boats.
goes.
Lightning,
when there's
wind,
weather, there's more of a grace on
the
boats than there is the Skyliner. I mean, the other thing about the Skyliner is like you could get stuck halfway through because they're going to unload you the first available opportunity they have. The boat, they're not going to like
drop you in the middle of the lake.
Like you're going to get where you're going if you're
Ladies
on
and
the
gentlemen,
boat.
We're here at the middle of Bay Lake and we can't run this boat anymore. So grab your life vest. You're going over.
Right. So I mean, I don't know. Wilderness Lodge is just, it's very peaceful. Again, it is a resort that I would say 100% if you're booking to stay there, take time to enjoy the resort, especially when all of the dining is in full swing there. Eating at the Artist Palette is so fun. No, it's Artist Palette. Okay. And then they also have the bar attached to Artist Palette, and then they have the Whispering Canyon, which is so fun and delicious.
And they're back to passing the ketchup.
Are they back to passing the ketchup? Did you see it? I know they're like,
or maybe they're back to singing, or they're doing something.
They're back to some of, but I don't know if they're doing the ketchups yet. Yeah. And then the grill is like so fun. The outdoor grill. You can literally watch the geyser going off. You're right there on Bay Lake. You can
hear the fireworks.
You can kind of see them. They roast s'mores over there at night. It's breezy. It's just like so laid back. Like it's so relaxing there. And their pool is awesome.
Amazing. Best pool on property?
I don't know. It may be close to, because the splash pad is super fun and awesome. The water slide is great. And it's like very easy with kids. Like you can sit in the pool and your kid can run up and go down.
Well, the nice thing is you could be at that one part. I mean, and you could sit in the one part and see Wally in the pool or see him in the play area. You know,
it's just very relaxing. And then if you really want like a quiet pool, like no one is ever over in the Boulder Ridge pool.
Boulder Ridge DVC quiet pool.
Quiet over there.
So quiet.
And it is a DVC pool, but I think everybody can use it. I don't know.
That I don't know, because
you did have to band in.
You did have to band in.
But I don't know that you have to be DVC. I didn't see anywhere that said that on the signs.
No, the sign said pools for DVC member use only.
I didn't see that. But yeah, Amy says Stormalong Bay for me. And that's the only reason I would say like maybe it's not the best pool on property, but I will say with a little one, I think I prefer Wilderness to Stormalong Bay because of the splash pad.
Yes. And I don't like Stormalong Bay because of the
lazy river.
The lazy river is too intense, and
it's very deep.
So
with little ones. As an adult, I think that yes, that's the best pool. Yeah. Other than it's busy, especially in the summer.
It's always slammed.
And we had waitlisted we had waitlisted Beach Club for Wilderness.
Yep.
And it came through.
It came up.
And we had to really think about it. We're like, do we want to do Beach Club because that is the pool to have in the summer, or do we want to do Wilderness because we haven't done it before and it's pool season? And it just is very relaxing there. Like if you want to go have a very relaxing stay, and it has everything. It has an arcade. It has a plethora of food options. It's got a plethora of adult beverage options. It's got lots of fun areas for kids. You can also take the boats out to Fort Wilderness.
Oh, the community club there is awesome too. They also have those classes and everything.
Yeah.
DVC community.
And they have
club.
the whole area that had like the hockey tables and ping pong
The community
tables.
hall, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Which they leave. I mean, at least the night we were there, they left that stuff out at night. So
we were
went over there and played a little bit of
enjoying
foosball
drinks
for a while.
at Geyser Point, and Wally was able to go play foosball and play ping pong and have a good time. And so, yeah, I mean, Wilderness is not the most convenient resort for going to a theme park, but it's pretty darn convenient for going to Magic Kingdom.
It's a boat ride.
Yeah, it's a boat
or
ride.
a bus ride.
Yeah. So, and yeah, they do. And
They have
Amy,
buses.
you had asked, they offer a bus too, and they do. So, and monorail. Like if you want to take the boat over to Bay Lake and hop on the monorail over at Contemporary.
Yeah, or get off the boat at
Epcot.
Contemporary and just walk in the Magic Kingdom. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like there's just lots of options there that provide convenience.
Yeah.
We really enjoyed Wilderness on this trip.
Wait for it to pop up. But
and Wilderness is a resort I would say you could stay at for like a whole week.
So Jean Claire, is it Copper Creek?
I think she's Copper Creek because of when you joined. I'm guessing you're Copper Creek. Yeah. So if you ever want to trade out for the Poly, we can exchange. Like,
yeah. If we ever need that,
we 11 can change.
We ever need that 11-month window.
Yeah. But yeah, we really, really enjoyed Wilderness. I think that it's a great option. The last resort we were at on this was Riviera. It was the one that I was the most hyped up for. I was like, this is the end of our trip. It's going to be the best. Like, I'm so excited to stay there, and the theming and like the Disney history. And I guess we should go back to that for a second, the Disney history. Because at Riviera, they have the library, which is so awesome. And it has all the books that were inspired by Walt's journeys through Europe.
Invoices from his travels.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's really cool to see some of the like artifacts that are in there and all. There's a whole wall of pictures, and that's really wonderful. And I thought that this is going to be my favorite Disney history spot, but the lobby area at Boulder Ridge at Wilderness Lodge, they have the Carrollwood Pacific Railway, like cozy little.
They have a lot of really cool things at that Boulder Ridge lobby.
So cool, and you just
and it's original. The stuff there is original, whereas the Riviera stuff is actually
a lot of it's replica.
A lot of it is replica. And this stuff at Boulder Ridge is.
I mean, it's like there's part of Walt's actual real train in there. Yeah. There's like beautiful pin set, great pictures. Like it just, you just like feel Walt's love of trains.
If you're ever at Wilderness Lodge and you like the Walt Disney history like we do,
and you love trains,
and you love trains, or you love pins, there's also a really freaking cool pin set in that lobby. Go to the lobby, the Boulder Ridge lobby. Yes.
I think it's our favorite spot.
You will be blown away.
Property. And normally, like I think just because of COVID, they don't have it out. But normally they have like big giant checkerboards that you can play on the table, which is really fun. And there's a fireplace, and it's just like, it's so relaxing. So back over to Riviera. Yes, Amy, you said the lobby area is small.
So small.
All of Riviera is very small. Like that was what surprised me the most. Is it just felt very small. That
up
being
to and including
said, like,
the stairway down from the lobby to the lower level is one lane, maybe one and a half. But you aren't fitting two people going opposite way there.
It feels very small. I do think that a lot of that is because of their courtyard. Yes. Like because it opens up to the big courtyard area with bocce ball and the big
gorgeous
life-size chess and
those giant chairs,
swings,
chairs.
So that like if that courtyard wasn't there and it was all enveloped as like a lobby, it would be more grandiose inside. But it does feel very small. They do have a community hall activity center there, which I didn't know, and I think it's only open during certain hours. And that's the other thing I will say about Kidani and Bay Lake is their community hall is just very like it just it's there. It's open.
There. It's awesome.
They have like all sorts of activities and stuff going on.
The
It's like
Riviera
a really
Community Hall felt like it was an afterthought. Might have been an accidental
felt very
storage room.
sterile.
It felt very sterile.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like I was going into a clean room.
Yeah,
It's white.
it was just very like.
Nothing.
Are we
exciting.
allowed to be in here? I think we are. I think this is a public space.
And there's no arcade.
There's no arcade that we ever found.
No, I asked.
Okay.
I asked.
There's
no arcade at Riviera. So no fun for the kiddos.
I know, because we bought an arcade card when we were at Animal Kingdom, so we need to make sure we bring that with us when we go back. But yeah, there's no arcade. Their quick service is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was really, really good.
Food was excellent.
Really
Amazing
good food. Their
food.
fries are really disappointing there.
See, I thought their fries were good. You got the specialty fries done. I just had the regular.
Yeah, I mean they're just Disney fries. Like there's
they're not,
nothing.
They're a little bit different than the normal ones. So they did not make me feel sick like the usual Disney fries. So they're a little bit smaller.
Okay.
Shoestringy type.
Their bar is really nice too. They have like a really
Bar
nice
Riva.
Bar
Yep.
Riva. It was really, really nice. The pool was phenomenal.
Yeah, that pool was really
I
nice.
did really like the pool there a lot.
Just your standard, kids splash pad play.
Yeah, but
play
it was
zone,
all
but
it was all
had-
Fantasia themed. Yep. It was really cool.
Yep.
And it was a really nice area to like sit in, and we like met some other parents and chatted with them, and then the water slide was really fun. I really liked the water slide there. That was really fun. So the pool is good. Mm-hmm. The other thing that we didn't try that we were going to try, but it just felt like too much effort, is that you are also like at Caribbean Beach. Yeah. So we were going to try walking over and do the Caribbean Beach pool. I mean, technically, I don't think you're supposed to. Like, you can pool hop DVC resorts. We didn't try it.
It was a long walk.
It was a long walk. We're like, it's hot. I don't think we want to walk over there.
The one thing, so they put in all these cabanas around the Riviera pool, and looks great, sounds like a great idea. They bake in the sun.
Oh my gosh.
Could barely touch
it. Like burned my feet.
You could barely touch them.
Like they have these really lush seats with like a little bit of like a cover over it. Worthless and they look so cool. But you could not sit on those things. No. It would like burn your skin off. So
completely worthless.
Yeah.
And the other thing there, of all the pools we went to, you could not walk on that pavement.
It was
your
hot.
feet needed to be wet to be able to walk on that pavement.
And you needed to walk quickly.
Yeah.
So
I tried to that.
We did, and so then we did eat. We did breakfast at Topolino's, and then that same day we did dinner at Topolino's. And Topolino's for breakfast is
you've heard us talk about it before. If you have any hesitation to do, well, we're talking about Topolino's.
We built with Daniel and did it by the dynamic beat.
Wow.
Yeah.
It had big tires.
Where's your shirt?
Oh, I changed it so that I'll turn it with red. Wait 1 minute. That is not working.
No.
You better put it back.
You better go work on it some more.
You go do some troubleshooting.
Yeah, you go do some work on that.
Go this way.
Yep.
Topolino's is great. Yeah.
Topolino's breakfast,
and like
do it.
It is really nice to stay there and go do a breakfast at Topolino's.
Yeah.
So
especially
relaxing.
we were on the East Wing, which is where Topolino's is.
Literally
so we
took
stumbled out of our hotel.
3 minutes from our room.
You checked into our reservation from the hotel room.
Yeah.
Your table's ready. We got in the elevator, went up.
Yeah.
Missing.
So nice. The food there's phenomenal. The characters are so unique and cool. And then dinner, I mean, I think partially our view is a little bit skewed because we had such a good breakfast experience that comparing it to breakfast.
And we have California Grill.
Was not,
we had other really good dinner experiences that I would have expected Topolino's dinner to just be like, man, on par, just clicking. It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad, but it just wasn't great.
Man, that breakfast.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to hear us say it again.
Now, I will say the appetizers, the antipastos for Topolino's, those were good.
Those were good? Okay.
We got the ricotta and the olives. And the olives, I mean, it was like a bowl.
Giant.
Like
They did say it
bowl
was
of
like a
olives.
3 to 4 person.
Right. And there was only 2 of us at the table that ate olives. We couldn't even finish them all, which broke my heart. But I feel like I might like, is it acceptable? I would go there and get drinks and appetizers and dessert.
We've done that before at places.
And I would skip the entrees.
Just skip the entrees.
I didn't think that they were.
No, I mean, we each had different entrees.
We all had different entrees. And nobody was like raving about their food.
Yeah, each entree we were like, I've had better. Yeah. I had a better steak that breakfast morning.
Yeah,
I told the guy that.
I think you kind of hurt his feelings.
I think I insulted the guy. I'm like, I had a better steak in the morning.
But
part of that might have been one of the evening chefs was working in the morning.
Yeah.
And that's who we had assigned to our meal. So
the fireworks view there is really great because you're right there at Epcot, but they don't pump the music in.
So do not go expecting to hear the music for
I think
Epcot
if they would pump the music
or
in.
for Magic Kingdom. You can see the aerials from Magic Kingdom.
And that I understand. But if they would pump the music in for Epcot, and I do wonder if they're waiting for Harmonious because of the timing of when Topolino's opened. Illuminations is on its way out.
Yeah, maybe.
Epcot Forever was only ever meant to be an in-between show. So maybe when Harmonious opens, I could see them maybe putting in an effort to install like a synced music system for that.
Yeah.
If they did that, then I would say it's totally worth going there for fireworks.
It don't need the bad tire.
Okay.
It don't need the one tire. I mean, did it upon them.
Oh, now these tires aren't doing anything.
Oh.
Wally, what did you think of the bakery at Topolino's Terrace?
Yeah.
You
remember
got
what
cupcake.
did you get there?
I want that.
You love that cupcake.
I had it.
The bakery there and the bakery at Contempo Cafe, I think, have awesome treats. So that's another thing I would recommend.
Wally, of all the places we stayed,
Mm-hmm.
do you remember all the places we stayed? We stayed at the place with the animals.
Yeah.
We stayed at the place with the big room.
Mm-hmm.
We stayed at the place with the cool pool, and we stayed at the place with
Mickey and Minnie.
With Mickey and Minnie.
What was your favorite place we stayed?
Yeah.
Would have died.
Wally, we're talking about our rooms. What was your favorite place we stayed at?
Animal Kingdom.
Kingdom.
Contemporary on the monorail.
Animal Kingdom.
You like the Animal Kingdom Lodge? I think he really liked the Savannah view.
I think he did.
Yeah, I think he really enjoyed it there. And we just had it was a cozy room.
I think they actually rebuilt it. And then,
okay.
Oh yeah, now it's working.
Oh,
yeah, look at that. Okay, you go try it. You go test it a couple more times, and we're gonna wrap up. Okay,
we gotta wrap up. Okay, buddy.
Okay, Bubba.
I think it don't need the bad tire.
So yeah, as far as Riviera goes, would I recommend staying there? I mean, the rooms were really pretty. The storage was nice for suitcases there. The storage for the kitchen was not great.
No.
I have heard, though, that the 1-bedrooms there are, like, amazing. Yeah. So I think that the studios there are not great.
They're small.
They're just small. They feel small. I mean, they did, like,
and
the lighting was beautiful.
We were not in a tower studio. We were in an actual...
Yeah,
villa,
like not the
villa.
2-person.
Or I think they call them a deluxe studio.
Yeah.
The tower studios are like a Murphy bed, and that's basically your space.
Yeah, like a Murphy bed.
You got a seating area
bathroom.
that folds into a Murphy bed.
Yeah. But like the artwork's really pretty. All the lighting in the rooms was like a chandelier.
It was amazing. It was so gorgeous. Everything about that resort was gorgeous.
You do have the split bath there too, so you have the like 2 bathrooms where you've got like your tub, shower, sink in one, and then a pocket door, and then another bathroom. Or you have one bathroom that has like a 2-head amazing shower, all marble, with the sink, and then the other one has the toilet and a tub shower. So that's kind of nice. And then it does have, so you have a queen bed. And then it has a full pull down.
It did have a full
queen
Murphy bed pull down, just like the Tower Studios.
So from that perspective, I would say if you are a family of 2 kids or a more adult kid going and you want to have more space, I think that they are nice from that perspective. You do end up having like 2 full and easy beds, like easier than a sofa bed. and they're very pretty. I think I would like to stay at Riviera again in a 1-bedroom
Yeah.
and experience
And see
that.
what the 1-bedroom's like. Yeah.
I do think it's a great resort for the summer, or just, when you are planning to do pool time.
Not a great resort in the summer when you're planning to use the Skyliner.
That is the one thing I will say is like staying there in the summer and having this fantasy of like, this is going to be great. We're going to hop on the Skyliner. We're going to ride over to Epcot. We only made that work one time on our last day.
Yeah.
And it was
was
sketchy at best that we did that because we had to get back for our dining reservation.
to build it.
And we barely made it. I mean, the weather was rolling in. It was this
Well,
close to shutting down again.
Yeah, it was a thing of, and where we were in the front of Epcot.
Mhm.
We walk all the way back to find the Skyliner closed. You go back up to the front to wait for a bus. Do we just go out the front and wait for a bus? And that'll take an hour.
So I will say that if you're going to stay at Riviera and you're staying there in the summer and you think it's going to be so wonderful because you're going to ride the Skyliner back and forth and have this fantasy of that.
Ditch that.
I mean, if you have no agenda and you're fine not making it back to or from at
Your
a certain
dining
time.
reservations all need to be in the park you're currently in.
Mhm.
And make that dining reservation at the end of the day so that you're not waiting in the sunken hole Skyliner line.
Yeah, I rode the Skyliner back one night with Wally, and it was the hottest, most miserable line I stood in, and it took forever. So I
actually made it from the same spot out to my car, drove around the corner to the Riviera in my car, parked my car, put the stroller up in the room, and
met us at the
met you at the
gondola
gondola
station.
station.
So yeah,
let me-
Amy says Tower Studios are closets.
update
They're
us.
closets, yeah. So I wouldn't mind staying there again.
Hi.
I'd want to do a 1-bedroom. I don't think I would do it in the summer.
And you did, Amy. You got lucky that there was not a lot of rain. And again, if you have no specific timeline and target,
Mhm.
and you're not
What
always
is it?
rushing the things
is
like
it?
we are, you're perfectly fine with the Skyliner.
Yeah.
But if you got a place to be, the Skyliner is just
Mhm.
not in
It's
the
frustrating.
afternoon. Anytime afternoon,
Yeah.
the Skyliner is just not a reliable mode.
So okay, so in closing our thoughts,
Yep.
how would you rank the 4 resorts we stayed at?
My ranking
Mhm.
Is can you go over here, bud? My ranking is Copper
Hi,
Creek.
Dad.
Mhm.
Hi, Dad.
We're talking about our resorts, buddy.
Tapo Teed, I really
You
like.
liked Copper Creek. That's what I thought was your favorite. I know I'm being swayed, but that Bay Lake 1-bedroom was gorgeous.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just a gorgeous room.
Yeah.
Um,
So you're going Copper Creek, Bay Lake.
but in the Bay Lake's an asterisk. I mean, it's it's an asterisk.
If we'd
on there.
stayed at Bay Lake in a studio,
It
you
wouldn't
think
have
you
been
would?
there.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
It would be below my third one, which is
You can Wally then.
Animal
We
Kingdom.
built
Okay.
I like staying in Animal Kingdom. I love the
Mhm.
pools and stuff there. And then Riviera was it would be the last on that list.
I mean, I think for me, Copper Creek's definitely number 1. It gets a little hard from there for me. I think I'd probably go Copper Creek. I might do Riviera as number 2, just because I really thought the pool was fun. I liked the dining situation, and if the gondola had been a better experience, I think I would have really enjoyed that. And the rooms were really pretty, and I liked the theming. And then,
but it also was a tiny studio. I mean, we didn't have enough place to put all of our stuff, and it wasn't like we accumulated more stuff.
well, it wasn't that it was small. It's that like the space areas were very strange. Like there was a giant closet.
Giant closet.
And I was like, they could have kicked the closet out and
Yep.
made more storage room in the kitchen area.
Yep.
And you still would have had plenty of room to put your
That closet
clothes
was
in.
absurdly giant.
Yeah, it was.
And which we never used because we always parked the stroller in front of it, so you couldn't open the door.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that's a really good point. Like, I think
Yeah.
Riviera would be a nice adult trip resort. And I agree. Like,
Hi.
if Mark and I went down for 2 days, just
Mm-hmm.
the two of us, I think
Yeah.
Riviera would be really, really fun.
We've
to
talked
stay
about that, doing a tower
Mhm.
studio and it's staying in a closet. I mean,
Yeah.
getting that Riviera
at.
lifestyle.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I think I would do Copper Creek, Riviera, Animal Kingdom, Bay Lake.
Ooh.
No, it's hard. It's hard to rank
my
them.
favorite.
But I think Copper
read
Creek
all
was the
of them.
clear winner for us on this trip. And I'm really
Clear winner.
glad.
I'm really
that we
glad we
stayed
stayed there.
And I'm very glad we did a split stay. And we definitely made an effort every single resort to have a resort day.
Mhm.
I think each of those resorts deserve a resort day to do the pool, to do the things. Riviera could be a half day. And that's really what we did is we did like pool in the morning and then did the park at night. So you could do like we had breakfast at Topolino's, we did the pool, we went to the park, we came back and did dinner at Topolino's.
Yeah.
So we've had lots, but we like pretty much covered everything at the resort with like a half day. So, and I would skip on doing dinner at Topolino's. I would do breakfast. Even as an adult, I would go do breakfast.
And then what?
The food is so worth it.
And then what?
Um,
If you had a little bit more time, Red,
Mhm.
and if you ride riding with one, do you just go there, right in the line, and get out of there when you're done riding it?
That's why I would have thought you would have picked Bay Lake Tower as your number one.
You
'cause
can
that's
walk
close
right
and
there
you
and
can
go to
walk
Big
to
Thunder Mountain. That's what everybody should do. That's Wally's pro tip. If you have a little bit of time, go to Magic Kingdom, stand in the line, ride Big Thunder Mountain, and get out of there.
Get out. Get out of there.
You heard it here first.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
that's been our Disney World DVC Resort review. Let us know in the comments if you guys differ on those opinions. It's okay to differ.
Yeah, I mean,
We're all
the thing
different,
I will
and-
say is I don't feel like there was any resort that we hated,
No.
that we would never stay at again, that
No.
we had a bad experience at. Like Riviera also got off to a rocky start for us because like we stupidly, like this was 100% our fault. We're like, oh, we'll get over there, we'll go to the pool, and then we'll get to our room and we'll change and we'll go to the park. And we had a 4:00 dining reservation at Teep Onidu, and we take two, and we went to the pool, and Mark took Wally to the bathroom to change him, and torrential downpour.
I got an alert on my phone and I heard a noise and I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah.
I've never heard a noise like that before. It was rain.
Yeah.
Sheets of rain.
It was, I was
You were soaked.
And we
Yeah.
didn't like, our bags were there with us. We had driven them over and checked them, and they will always get things out of bags for you. So we could have done that, but I was like, I just want to go to the room. I want to take a shower.
Well, it was also the latest room we
outfit.
had got the whole trip as well.
It was the latest check-in we got the whole trip. Yeah.
Latest
Everything
check-in we
else.
got, that
Bay Lake
means-
Tower room was ready at 7 a.m.
7 a.m. We had that
which
one
was
bedroom.
crazy. Wilderness, it was like 11:30.
11:30, yeah.
And Animal Kingdom was ready later, I guess. It probably was like 4 or 5 when that one was ready, but we didn't mind.
But
'cause
we were gone. Yeah,
so.
we dropped our bags and I truly don't
But-
know when that one was ready. Yeah, it's true. I'm being unfair. But
Yeah. So Riviera was off to a little rocky start. But I mean,
not their fault, our fault.
I still would stay at every one of those resorts again.
And the only thing I came out of the trip was I'm sad we don't own some points at Copper Creek. I liked it that much.
And so we don't own
especially because they were just
points
selling
there, yeah.
those. I'm like, oh, I should have.
I know. I wish we
Copper
would have
Creek points.
bought some. So, but overall, great state. Hopefully this was like helpful and just like our thoughts and opinions on like,
Here's my
staying at the Deluxe
value
resorts, on property,
updated.
off property, all the things.
I updated it.
Ooh, it's like kind of looks like a dog or a horse
No, it
or
had
an elephant.
No, it
Well-
had a hook on the back,
Oh, it's a hook. Okay.
but it turned to water out of it.
That's a good idea.
Oh,
Will
that's
it
really
refill
cool.
a train?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it turned real water. It turned it more water.
Yeah.
It never run out of water.
Never out of water.
And then
All right.
Thank you all for joining
Yeah.
us tonight. Hey, I'm gonna wrap
We've
up.
got,
Okay,
I think we're gonna do a dining. We're gonna do another series, kind of like dining debrief, and some other things. Next week, though, we'll be fresh off of a trip to Chicago, and it's this guy's birthday over here.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna be at a tiki bar when we
Doing
go
a dining
live
review?
next week.
We'll see how that works. Out in the wilderness, out in the wild.
Yeah. So, Amy asked, where did you stay at first off property? And we stayed at the Courtyard Marriott on I Drive.
Yep.
That's right by Icon Park.
Yep.
And it was a simple room, but it worked great. The fridge was as small as you could
Oh,
possibly be.
Yes, that was the tiniest little. I think our video is up on the channel. Checking into that room. So yeah, go check the video out on the channel. Checking in the room, you can see what it's like. Goofy sofa. Goofy pull-out sofa bed. I don't know what was that. That was goofy. And then goofy little tiny square fridge.
Yes.
You are a packing
And then
genius.
tomorrow, our first attempt at the rocket launch in Cape Canaveral will be live on the channel tomorrow morning. So I've officially committed. Hopefully I can stick to it, but we should be getting vacation vlogs up every Tuesday, Thursday, and most Saturdays. We have quite a few like collabs and things that we're doing that fall on weekends. So like this weekend, we actually have 2 videos going up on Saturday. We have a Parks and Attractions pin share, and then we also have a Christmas in July craft collab, and then Sunday we have Christmas in July recipes and ornaments. So come celebrate Christmas in July with us this weekend, and look out for the part 1 of Cape Canaveral coming out tomorrow, and then we'll have fireworks from California Grill out next Tuesday, and next Wednesday we'll be coming at you live from a tiki bar to celebrate Mark's birthday. So come join us for that. I'll see you guys live next week, and stay tuned for fun videos. Yeah. So
as always, on the way out, make sure you hit that like button. You know, it helps us out. Head on over to theliveplace.com to see who else is live. Thanks to Dean for always putting that together and hosting all the fun stuff he does. I know Monarch Moments are, I think I already got the alert there. We're a little bit over our time. So head on over to those guys, say hi for us. And otherwise, you know, we appreciate you. This is the wonderful world of Walter.
We love you just the way you are. Bye. Wally, you want to come say bye quick? Say bye.
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 And I want to tell you the right.
No, we're going to go bye.
Say
bye.